On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. This was followed by a second bomb 3 days later on Nagasaki. On the 10th of August, Japan agreed to surrender the war, and it was officiated on the 14th of August. The atomic bombing of Japan by the United States is one of the most debated and controversial topics in all of history. This begs the question, was the use of the atomic bomb on Japan by the United States to end the war in the Pacific justifiable? The use of the atomic bomb in the Pacific was justifiable due to the fact that Japan was given opportunities to surrender prior to the bomb being used, yet rejected them. Japan showed aggression towards the other countries, and it had saved the lives of countless American soldiers. Although the use of the atomic bomb wasn't the ideal outcome, it was necessary and justified. After the initial Potsdam Declaration for an unconditional surrender from Japan, Truman and the United States realized that the Japanese were concerned about their Emperor Hirohito if they were to surrender. So they modified the terms of the surrender agreement, which would allow the Emperor to keep his position, mainly basing it on disarmament, and allowing Japanese soldiers to go back to their homes once they are disarmed, as well as not destroying the nation. For the amount of destruction Japan had caused, including the sudden bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941, which destroyed many American battleships and killed many Americans, which they did want revenge for, the surrender agreement was reasonable for the Japanese to agree to. Yet, even after the terms were changed, they were unwilling to surrender. After the surrender was refused and the chance to stop the war peacefully was discarded by Japan, the decision to use the atomic bomb on them was inevitable.
It was to spare the Japanese people from utter destruction that the ultimatum of July the 26th was issued at Potsdam. Their leaders promptly rejected that ultimatum. If they do not now accept our terms, they may expect a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth.
Another aspect to consider is that Japan surrendered a day after the second atomic bomb was dropped. The bomb sped up the end of the war by weeks or even months, as without it the Americans would have had to invade, and Japan would not have stopped fighting until each of them were dead. Without using the atomic bombs on Japan, the war would not have ended as quickly as it did, which was seen as a huge positive as it ended the brutal fighting that had devastated so many. An important factor to consider in determining that the atomic bomb was justified is that they were able to rebuild both Hiroshima and Nagasaki to how they were before the bomb, and today they appear to be well-built and healthy places. This shows that the physical effects of the land from the bomb were not permanent. Ending the war quickly saved the lives of many people. The bomb spared many families of American soldiers their loved ones, as it was predicted that continuing to fight in the war, specifically in the invasion of Japan, would kill at least 1 million Americans. Although civilians in Japan were killed or injured due to the atomic bomb, if it came down to the invasion happening, it would have been inevitable as well, considering Japan was not only training soldiers, but also teaching every civilian, including even schoolgirls and boys, to attack the American soldiers on sight, and that dying for their cause was honorable and necessary. Therefore, although it killed many Japanese soldiers and civilians, it ended the war quickly, which likely saved the lives of just as many or more people. Due to the large number of expected civilian casualties, it made more sense for the United States to drop the atomic bomb and avoid the pain, loss, and struggle that an invasion would bring. Overall, it is clear that the atomic bomb was the best option the United States had at the time. An invasion would have killed many people and lasted longer. Letting Japan take over more land and do more damage to it than they already had was not an option, and though the atomic bomb wasn't guaranteed to work, it would have had a huge impact if it did, and was the best choice to the Americans. Any attack other than one which would shock and bring down morale of the Japanese people, as the atomic bomb did do, would not have worked and ultimately would have caused Japan to fight even harder, resulting in even more bloodshed for both sides. Therefore, due to Japan not surrendering after getting multiple chances to, the destruction Japan caused prior, and the fact that the war ended quickly afterwards, saving many lives in the process, it is evident that although the atomic bomb was not necessarily the moral choice, it was necessary to stop the war and the pain that came with it. The United States possessed a weapon that could end a long traveling war quickly, and it did just that. Hence, the United States dropping the atomic bomb on Japan was justified.